Hello comic book fans, and thank you very much for checking out my review of Absolute Flash #1. I'm Adriano from Not of This Realm, where we talk about comic books, movies, TV, and action figures inspired by the realms of superheroes, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy. Welcome to the channel if this is your first time here. We hope you enjoy the video and consider liking it as well as subscribing to Not of This Realm. The Flash is the latest superhero to get the absolute treatment from DC, and I think it's off to a great start. I will be talking about some of what takes place in this issue, but I'll try to stay away from major spoilers in case you want to read it. Absolute Flash is penned by one of the best writers out there in my opinion, Jeff Lemire, so my expectations for this book were very high. You may know him best as the creator of Sweet Tooth, which was adapted into a Netflix series. He also wrote Descender, an excellent sci-fi drama for Image Comics, and Black Hammer for Dark Horse, which is one of my all-time favorite superhero books, and I highly suggest reading it if you haven't had the chance. What I like best about Lemire's work is that it balances extensive character development along with a story and plot that's built on a unique concept. This first issue embodies much of these qualities. Wally West is the central Flash of this universe, which I think is a great choice. Nothing against Barry Allen, but I grew up with Wally West being the Flash in the comics and the Justice League animated series. The issue starts off with him freaking out over his new powers and recalling that he may have caused some sort of tragic event. It's a very engaging and effective way to start a story because it grabs our attention and has us asking questions that we want to see answered. What happened? What did he do? How badly did he mess up? I really like the artwork by Robles here. It's energetic and suits the tone of the story impeccably. In a few areas there are some interesting layouts that move the scene along in a dynamic way that I think works very well. The colors by Adriano pops on every page and enhances the already exciting artwork by Robles. I don't talk enough about letters in my comic reviews, but I have to give credit to Tom Napolitano for his outstanding work in this issue. I think it is a fun and eye-catching way to let us know how far back the story is taking us. I also like how he layered the caption boxes in the first page to visually communicate Wally's frantic mindset. The story then flashes back to 2 days ago. Absolute Flash #1 spends a majority of the time in the past in order for us to get to know this version of Wally West. We learn that Wally is 15 years old and his father is in the military. Because of this, he's moved from one military base to the next for most of his life, which has made it difficult for him to make friends and leaves him feeling alone. We're also shown that Wally's relationship with his father is tenuous at best when the two get into an argument after Wally is allowed access into a restricted area by one of the scientists working at the base. The story then flashes back to the present where we get to see alternate versions for some of the members of the Flash's Rogues Gallery. The most notable of which is Captain Cold, who's giving us some serious Omni-Man vibes with his mustache. There's also alternate versions of Captain Boomerang, Golden Glider, and who I can only assume is the Trickster. This was the weakest part of the book for me. Showing us this many alternate characters feels like too much too soon in my opinion. I think just showing us an alternate version of Captain Cold would have been sufficient. To its credit, Absolute Flash doesn't do this nearly as heavily as a couple of other Absolute titles. However, the big question on Wally's mind, as well as ours, is did Wally's dad send these people after him? We then flash back to 1 day ago. After another disagreement with his father, Wally leaves home and makes his way to the lab, as teenagers usually do. It's not revealed what work the military is doing at this base, but whatever it is, Wally's father makes it clear that he doesn't want Wally involved in any of it. My best guess is that the military is doing something questionable with the experiments they have going on in the lab. It's here that we see what could be hints at future storylines and alternate versions of some well-known characters in the Flash mythos. And we witness the tragic event that transformed Wally West into the Flash. I think Absolute Flash is another excellent addition to DC's Absolute universe. Besides my little nitpick, it's a near perfect first issue by Jeff Lemire that's interesting and exciting. The artwork by Robles and Adriano is sure to impress many of you. Let's not forget the great lettering by Tom Napolitano either. They all did an amazing job on this issue, and I highly recommend that you add Absolute Flash to your pull list at your nearest comic book shop. Did you read Absolute Flash #1? Do you agree or disagree with my thoughts on it? We'd love it if you let us know what you think in the comments below. And don't forget to give the video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. If you're new to the channel and interested in comic books, movies, TV, and action figures inspired by the realms of superheroes, sci-fi, horror, and fantasy, then please consider subscribing to us. I'm Adriano from Not of This Realm. This video was written by me and edited by the amazing Ostra Vixen. Thank you so much for watching. We really do appreciate you taking the time to watch. Be safe and take care.